is there in game number 3. So our life totals here. It looks like Lutes is at 14, Williams at 16. Take a look at the battlefield. For Travis Williams on your right with the Bant Eldrazi deck, he's got a Cavern of Souls, most likely naming Eldrazi, and a Yavimaya, 2 Noble Hierarchs, and a Mattery Shaper. For Tyler Lutes, it's a whole bunch of lands, along with a Kitchen Finks and a Kalitas. So here comes the Mattery Shaper, and it's got Exalted ×2 as we head back over to Tyler Lutes. Life total is now 9-16 in favor of Williams. Looks like a couple copies of Scavenging Ooze in hand here for Lutes. Here comes Kalitas, and that'll hit just fine. Life totals will shift a little bit here. Lutes up to 12, Williams down to 13. The follow-up is Scavenging Ooze number 1. We'll see if he wants to play the other one here or not. I believe that's the other card in his hand. It is. 2 Scavenging Oozes and simply a passing of the turn. To Travis Williams, we are going to go. And Eldrazi Displacer along with 2 copies of Drowner of Hope in hand right now for Williams. So he's got powerful cards, but he really needs another mana.
And Lutes drawing very live as all of his removal when paired with Kalitas is a big, big swing.
Oh, yeah. The Cavern is going to tap for white here to play Eldrazi Displacer. And we're going to go back over to Lutes, who, as you mentioned, if he does draw a removal spell here, it's going to be a big swing for him. Didn't get a great look at what he drew. You see in the graveyard here for Lutes, he's got a couple copies of Fulminator Mage, so Scavenging Ooze can eat those. Doesn't look like Travis Williams has many creatures in his graveyard.
And he may be loath to exile those, at least both the Fulminator Mages right now, due to the presence of Kolaghan's Command in his deck.
Well, here we come. Every creature coming in. Both Scavenging Oozes, Kitchen Finks, and Kalitas, Trader of Get.
And any blocking here for Williams is really rough because of the Kalitas.
Mattery Shaper, you won't get your trigger.
And, chump blocking with a Noble Hierarch is problematic too, because then you're a mana away from casting the Drowners in your hand, which are probably your best hope of catching up here.
We can't forget about Displacer either. You definitely want to leave that around, given its text box.
Yeah.
So it looks like Reshaper is going to jump in front of Scavenging Ooze. 3-6. We'll see an activation here. It looks like we're going to see 2 activations of the Ooze that is being blocked to keep it around. And now Mattery Shaper is going to bite the dust. It'll be exiled, which means a zombie should be headed Tyler Lutes' way as well. So that one's exiled. You see Travis Williams place it that way, and now a zombie will be on the way here for Tyler Lutes. And 8 damage came across. So this is a tough battlefield to work through now. Williams has got to draw a land to even have a shot here. He drew an Eldrazi Sky Spawner, which is not great.
Yeah, I think the battlefield really starts collapsing here for Williams next turn, because I suspect he is going to have to block with at least 1 Noble Hierarch to be able to survive combat. And at that point, you can't cast your Drowner. I suppose you're top decking to Eldrazi Temple. But even then, I'm not sure the Drowner gets you all the way back here.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
There might just be too far gone at this point.
So I think what we'll see the Sky Spawner get played here, obviously, and it's going to bring a sign along with it.
The hope here is that you play your Sky Spawner, and now you have 3 mana, essentially, because you have the Scion token along with your Noble Hierarchs. And that gets you something like a chump block, plus an activation of the Displacer. Maybe you can keep both of your Noble Hierarchs around and try to cast Drowner next turn. It's asking a lot.
Well, fortunately for Travis Williams, Tyler Lutes has just drawn lands. Now, the land he's drawn this turn is actually a Raging Ravine, so that'll be relevant next turn. As for this turn,
and if there's no creatures now in either graveyard, that means at least it's harder to swing in with the 2/2 Ooze, because the Displacer goes in front of that for free. So that's something.
But you do want to keep the pressure on here if you're Lutes. And this might just be another turn of just everything attacks.
Yeah, there might be an argument here for not attacking with the 2/2 ooze. If I'm in Lutes' spot, I'm definitely willing to attack with the 2/2 ooze if it means that Williams has to put one Noble Hierarch in front of something. And if that attack necessitates that, then I'll throw away the 2/2 ooze. If it's just a freebie to put the ooze in front of, or to put the displacer in front, then I wouldn't do it.
Oh, we're going to find out right now. Looks like Sky Spawner is going to jump in front of the 4/4 ooze. We're going to see Displacer jump in front of Kitchen Finks. We might see a little bit of a switch here. And now we'll see a Displacer activation targeting Sky Spawner. Okay.
Okay.
So this means that Williams is going to go down to 1. Another zombie is going to join. Kitchen Finks will persist, so Lutes will gain 2 life. That's going to fall down to a 2/1. And we're going to really see what Drowner is made of here in just a moment.
I suspect this is just not, because he's going to have to tap these Noble Hierarchs and maybe also lose the Scion here to be able to cast it. And at 1, I think Lutes' board might be too wide.
Especially with Raging Ravine coming too.
Yeah, it's one more threat card, and all these things are lethal.
Draw a card. Hallowed Fountain, well, you're entering the battlefield tapped.
So now, at this point, you're sacrificing the Scion and tapping 2 Noble Hierarchs. You're actually net neutral on blockers for the next turn. And then, I mean, there's too many threat cards.
Nowhere to go. Tyler Lutes going to win this game and match here over Travis Williams. 2-1. Jund will take care of Bant Eldrazi. We started the day with 2 undefeated players. Now we've only got 1. It's your player on the left. It's Tyler Lutes. For you Jund fans out there, Jund, still pretty good, I guess.
We have seen